Hello guys, and welcome to this EC Aquatics video. In this video, I'm going to be setting up a tank in my college dorm room. Yes, this is my college dorm room, and we are allowed to set up aquariums in this dorm room, so I decided why not set up a nice little small tank like this. So my dorm room does allow fish tanks, and this is just going to sit right on my desk right next to where I do all my homework, and also right next to my bed. This tank is set up in a very simple manner and in a way that is easy to maintain, because obviously, you know, it's a dorm room and I'm a college student, and the high priority for me is education, right? And setting this tank up in a way that it will, over time, end up maintaining itself. I won't have to do many water changes. I'm not going to have a boatload of fish in there. Everything in the tank is designed to be simple and easy, as you guys will see. Nothing's designed to be difficult. This is just a tank that anyone can really do. The plants will be simple plants to use. The hardscape's very easy to put together and all that kind of stuff. And this here is a 7.5 gallon cube. It is 12 inches in every direction, so 12 inches wide, 12 inches tall, and 12 inches long. And it holds about 7.5 gallons of water. So for our nutrient layer, I have a couple of bags here that are filled with Aquasoil. These bags are fully plastic and will not rust, and this allows the plants to send their roots into the bags, access the nutrients that are present in the Aquasoil, and the Aquasoil won't mix with our decorative sand and make a giant mess. So the sand that we are going to be using in this tank is just this aquarium sand. I think it might be sand of some kind. It's just a nice yellow sand that we are adding into the tank. And as you can see, I am sloping it towards the back to give a better perception of depth. And now we are going to add in our hardscape, and for that we are going to be using this lava rock and this really cool giant piece of driftwood that just looks awesome. And I'm just using the rocks as kind of like a retaining wall, and the big piece of driftwood right in the back. Just very simple scape that doesn't really involve much. I'm just playing around with the rocks here. It's very simple, just kind of comes together. That's the thing with nano tanks and large pieces of wood, is there's not a lot you can really do, so it's kind of instant hardscape. Alright, so as you can see, everything is scaped. I kind of have it set up right in the middle with the rocks right in front. Yeah, it's really very simple. The wood is just right there. It's going to be big and impactful, and now we're going to have to lock it down so it doesn't float, and for that we're going to be using some cyanoacrylate super glue gel, and I'm just gluing a whole bunch of different contact points with the lava rock to keep this wood from floating. And the first plant that we are going to be using is Java Fern, and this is an epiphyte plant, so we are going to be gluing it to different portions of the wood and also wedging it in a couple different crevices that are found in the wood. And we are going to be using cyanoacrylate super glue gel to glue it down. For that we are going to put some glue on the wood, as you can see me doing here, and hold the plant to the wood for 10 seconds and it will stick. And I'm just repeating this process with all the other Java ferns that I've got. It's going to be a big impactful plant that grows nice and large, and it's going to look really nice and green. So the next plant that we're going to be using is Anubias Nana Petite. This is a small version of Anubias that's perfect for these nano tanks, and it is also an epiphyte plant, so we are also going to be gluing it down to the wood. And the next plant that we're going to be using is this Vuse species. I can't remember exactly what it is, but I will pop up the name on the screen. And this is also an epiphyte plant that we will also be gluing down, in this case onto some rocks as well. And the next plant that we're going to be using is this crypt, called Crypt Petchii. and we're going to plant it right on the side in the mid-ground, and it's going to get nice and bushy and look really, really good. And the next plant that we're going to be using is S. repens, and this is a small little stem plant that is perfect for the foreground. It will also grow nice and bushy, and we're going to plant it right in the foreground of the tank. Next plant we're going to be is a little bunch of Bacopa Caroliniana, and this is a nice little stem plant that we're going to plant in the back, and it's going to be nice and green and grow nice and big with those big leaves that'll provide a contrast to the other stem plants that we're going to be using. And our next plant is some dwarf hairgrass. It's not really that dwarf of a plant. As you can see, it's like a little mini Vallisneria, and we're also going to be planting it in the background, and it's going to loop over and give a little nice little grassy accent to the background of our tank. And the last plant that we're going to be using is Rotala Indica. I've got a whole bunches of this that we're going to also toss in the background. It's a really fast growing plant that really eats up nitrates and grows really quickly and can really add a nice pop of red, and it's a really beautiful and really easy stem plant to use in your aquarium. We're just going to be planting that all over the background. It's going to grow really fast and trail over and look really, really nice. There we go. The tank is now all planted, and these plants will get a lot bigger over time, but there's a decent amount of them in here. They'll really help filter the tank. So these are all mostly easy plants. These are all easy plants to grow that don't require any kind of CO2 injection or really high-end lighting, because obviously this is not, in a studio or a fish room or at home. This is in a dorm room, so I'm not going to have that much time to take care of it, as the focus here is schoolwork, obviously. So these plants, I picked them all out because they're easy to maintain. I don't have to, dump in loads of fertilizers or any kind of thing like that, and they'll grow with just a cheap light with a budget that's available to a college student like me. And now we're filling the tank up. There we go. So now the tank is filled up, and I've rigged up a filter and a heater onto the back. This is just a simple Aqueon hang on the back filter and an Aqueon heater. There's nothing really that exciting about either of them, but as you can see, it's got a decent water flow, and everything kind of looks really good. The wood did float a little bit, but I managed to get it wedged down, and it still looks really nice. So now we're going to add in our beneficial bacteria. We're going to be using a quick start, and this will kickstart our nitrogen cycle, and we're going to toss in a little bit of food afterwards. I did that off camera, but we're going to add this stuff in, and it's going to help cycle the tank by adding in a nice beneficial bacteria colony that will colonize the filter and the sand and everything else in the tank. And this size tank just requires 1 capful. So there we go, that's our tank. Looks really nice. It's going to cycle for about a month, and stay tuned for when I add in fish. That should be, I think, the next video coming up or something like that. So if you want to see me add in fish for this tank, then be sure to hit the subscribe button down below so you don't miss that. And thank you guys for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons, and I will see you all in the next one.